First, let's start with Sonic and Black Knight's story, which isn't bad, but we'll only cover the negatives here. First problem that I have with the story, right? First and major problem, right, is that the story is paced way too fast, right? When Sonic is summoned, right, it's only in Mission 3 where you get Excalibur and fight King Arthur, right? Now, I don't hate that you get Caliburn, right? But I do mind that you fight King Arthur here. There is really no point in beating him right here. It just kills the tension of the story, right? You already told me that he has the power of immortality with the scabbard, right? Now, I like that they wanted to show me it, but still does kill the tension, right? Because Sonic can bring this guy to his knees. Now, what's stopping Sonic from just, folding him and just kicking the scabbard out of his hand? What's really stopping him? Now, maybe that's bold of me to assume that the scabbard just won't return to his hand, so it just heals him. Because they make it directly clear that we need to blunt the power of immortality, so it maybe return to him, or he still has it. But still, right, it still does kill the tension of the story, and kill the tension for the Knights. Now, the best thing I have here is that he was holding back against Sonic, but even then, it still is weird, especially since he said kill him on sight. But it still does give King Arthur a bit of character, showing that he doesn't want to kill a weakling, which is fine, right, for a wall. But this still seeps into the other fights, so let's get on to that. Since I can't speak in one full recording, I'll just talk about the Knights now. The three Knights, they're immediately killed by the first Knight you fought, Lancelot, who is stated to be the mightiest, and after looking up the definition of the mightiest, it either means powerful or the strongest, right? Or really powerful, right? So that means you beat the strongest Knight. So this kills off the whole tension for the other Knights. I wish you fought Gawain first, because he has no real title towards him. He was just introduced when you're trying to fight the dragon. Caliburn says, "Who is that over there?" Which gives the fight a good mystery, like, who is it? Which is nice, right? But let's go back. It kills the tension for me, especially because they're trying to hype up Percival now, like, be careful with her. Why should Sonic be careful? Because he already defeated the strongest Knight. I'm gonna give the leader a pass at least, because at least they tried to establish that, okay, maybe King Arthur was holding back, and they were trying to establish immortality with that one. So that's fine, but there's no excuses here. He beat the strongest Knight. Hell, he even beat the second one. We don't know how Percival really compares to Lancelot. We're just told that she is as strong as her nobility, but we barely seen anything of her. Now, that's all I'm going to say for the Knights right now. Let's get on to some other stuff, and we'll be finished with the story section. Merlina. I don't know why I said her name multiple times, but yeah, she suffers the most from this fast-paced storytelling, because we don't get that many scenes of her before she leaves after her flower scene, because that flower scene established her as a twist villain and her main goals. Now when she comes back after we defeat Percival, we still don't get that many scenes with her. It's only really 2 cutscenes with her. Her telling us to go to Avalon to fight King Arthur, and her reveal as the twist villain with her goals. But it's still not enough to justify her redemption by Sonic, or Sonic to forgive her at the end, because, she kind of killed the Caliburn. And, well, let's not go into that right now. But still, we also need to talk about the scene where she just expositions the whole story of King Arthur, to where she talks about Gawain and Lancelot's rift killing the Knights of the Round Table. But it's weird, because now let's get into this weird scenario. Okay, why is she telling us this? And also, I have to ask, if she's seen the future, doesn't she know that she's getting defeated at the end? Or is she changing the story of this whole entire book? So does that mean that Sonic being here that he's changing the book's fate or something? Because it's the fact that she's only telling us this. We don't see an actual rift between Lancelot and Gawain, which makes this story's rules a bit weird. But that's another time, right? That was my main point mostly, that it doesn't establish her redemption by Sonic to be very well deserved, because she damn near killed him, and she basically killed Excalibur. And there are some good dialogues in between the boss fight, but it's still just okay, she's just forgiven for the few scenes we get her for, which doesn't really build up her relationship with Sonic. Well, I guess that's all I have to say for this story. I don't have many problems with Sonic and the Black Knight's gameplay. It's mostly positives, but there are still some weird things. Like for example, the YouTuber Sonic channel, they missed this pole, right? So they had to slowly back up just to get back to it. Backing up in this game feels really slow. I'm happy they gave us a backflip. And also, if you're not using a combo swing and just trying to fight a normal mob enemy, it's really awkward because you have to get so close to them. That's because Sonic is really short. Also Caliburn too. But that's just mostly how Sonic is. It's not bad and they do intend for you to use a combo swing. Normal swordplay like that is mostly reserved for night fights. And also, the Wii remote shakes too much in this section, right, where you're trying to save people. Like, you can go to the timestamp in the video. Another thing that's annoying is that you can hit townspeople. It just kind of ruins, like, what you want on your title card. And it's also annoying for sections like that to where they just cram a lot of townspeople there. And also, another problem is some unutilized mechanics, like the kick feature. It's just never used and you don't really have to use it. But it can make for some funny glitches, though. Final thing I want to complain about in Sonic and the Black Knight are some levels, right? To where some of the levels, mostly the endgame ones, have some iffy stuff to them. Like the log section in Lancelot's level, to where you can sometimes overjump certain logs and you have to land in awkward positions to jump the vines to not get damaged. This can become frustrating since this level had like scattered out rings and the rings are so far away from each other sometimes. And now let's get to Percival's level, my least favorite level in all Sonic and the Black Knight. Percival's level is pretty bad. Her level not only has like an insta-death to where if you fall in the lava you just die, but the geysers don't help because if you don't perfectly time your jump, you just instantly die and have to go back to one of the 2 checkpoints you have in this level, which isn't that good because let's say you're dying a lot, right? You have to take a whole minute just to get back to the halfway point. This level needs better checkpoints. So yeah, that's all the major stuff. Now I'm just gonna get into nitpicks and I'm done with this rant video. Alright, time for a quick session of nitpicks. Alright, first of all, why is Merlina stronger than King Arthur when she has a scabbard? Maybe it's her magic making her stronger and everything, but it's weird that King Arthur isn't as strong. Second nitpick is why don't we ever see her reflecting pool? Hell, it looks like it gives her the power to see the future, her predicting the book's tales and endings. Next nitpick is why is the only being of the underworld, King Arthur, can talk when the others don't talk? Like this one, for example, which looks like King Arthur but also doesn't talk, has no personality. And finally, Excalibur Sonic isn't bad. I just wish this form of Sonic had more build-up and hints to it. But there were sometimes hints to it, so I won't rag on it too much. The YouTubers I want to thank again, Sonic Channel, FC Playthroughs, and Mod a While.